Tired of your shing being interrupted because you run out of stupid mana? Unable to smash your enemies apart because you run out of mana?
What is that?
Well, all your wishes have been answered since Moontoon is here with another big update. Hi guys, Kazuki here, and in this video, let's take a look at the new mana removal for physical heroes. The removal of mana is a huge thing for most of the physical heroes as they are just going to be easier to play. We all know that having mana for these heroes didn't make much sense, but now removing it makes the hero smoother. It allows players to focus more on strategy and mechanics without the burden of mana management. This update is a welcome change for many, providing a smoother and more engaging experience. I'm pretty sure MLBB has been planning this change for a while, and it's exciting to see it finally implemented. The first thing we have is some equipment changes. Dominance Eyes has been changed due to the removal of mana. Now the attributes have been changed. We have plus 55 physical attack, plus 250 maximum HP, and plus 5% CD. The 500 mana has been removed. This change is good because most of the tanks who build Dominance Eyes have had their mana removed. But there are some heroes who have been nerfed too, Alice especially. To match the adjustments made to Dominance Eyes, the Black Ice Shield has also been altered to remove mana. It now has plus 18 physical defense, plus 150 maximum HP, plus 5% cooldown reduction. Finally, the 5 mana region has also been removed from Endless Battle, which again is a great change as people don't need the mana from Endless anymore, and the price being lowered will just make the equipment more accessible. Lancelot is already a swift and agile hero, and with the removal of mana, players can focus more on chaining their abilities without the stress of managing mana. This means Lancelot can become even more aggressive, diving into battles and executing his combos without hesitation. His skill Puncture and Thorn Draws can now be used to their fullest potential, especially his first skill Puncture. It will be a lot smoother. Claude is one of those heroes who will greatly benefit from the mana removal. Claude relies heavily on his mobility and attack speed. Now players can spam his Battle Mirror Image, his second skill, and Art of Thievery, his first, without worrying about running out of mana. This change will enable Claude to farm more efficiently and engage in fights more aggressively, maximizing his damage output. His ultimate Blazing Duet can now be timed perfectly in every team fight without constraints. Roger the Deadly Hybrid hero will also enjoy this update. With mana removed, Roger can now seamlessly switch between his human and wolf form, utilizing his skills like Open Fire, his first skill, and Lycan Pounce, his third skill more frequently. This allows Roger to maintain relentless pressure on enemies, making him a more consistent threat throughout the game. Due to this, Moontoon has already nerfed them. Players can focus on timing and strategy without the burden of mana management. Aldous the Powerhouse become even more intimidating with the removal of mana. Aldous can now charge his Contract Soul Steel, his first skill, and Contract Explosion, his ultimate, without limitation, allowing him to stake his damage and secure kills more efficiently. The removal of mana empowers Aldous to unleash his full potential and dominate the battlefield with relentless aggression. Man, this guy is going to be super annoying. Popo and Koopa are going to be even more annoying with this change. Because they are going to be so annoying, Moontoon has already nerfed them, but still Popo and Koopa are amazing. As they don't have the mana constraint, they can spam their skills and be more intimidating on the battlefield. His first skill also will be really good to spam, as his first skill for some reason ate up a lot of mana, but now there is no mana, which just made him good. Barracks become a more formidable force with unlimited skill uses. His so-called teamwork, his first skill, and Daytona's Welcome, his ultimate, can be utilized to their full extent, allowing Barretts to control the map and pressure the enemy team effectively. Players can now focus on positioning and timing without mana restriction. Barrett had some stupid mana issues because of his constant need to keep his sticks up, and playing him without the blue buff made him just inefficient. With the removal of mana, he is so good and a very viable pick for even the pro scene. Brody stands to gain a lot from this update. As a marksman with the strong burst damage, the removal of mana lets Brody unleash his skills like Abyss Impact, his first skill, and Corrosive Strike, his second, without any limitations. Brody can now poke enemies and control the battlefield more effectively, making him a formidable presence in both the laning phase and team fights. Our Lord with his disruptive and crowd control abilities is set to shine with the removal of mana. Our Lord can now spam his skill like Vengeance, his second skill, and Slame, his first skill, to disrupt enemies and create opportunities for his team. This change allows our Lord players to maintain constant aggression and capitalize on enemy mistakes without the worry of mana depletion. He is pure fighter now, as he can spam his skills without any mana constraints. For Franco, the removal of mana is a game changer. Franco can now use his hooks without worrying about running out of mana, making him even more of a threat on the battlefield. With his ability to initiate fights and control key targets with Iron Hook and Brutal Massacre, his ultimate becomes even more prominent. For being a tank, Franco had ridiculous mana cost and it made him so annoying. All early game Franco mains know the pain of running out of mana. Bruno the sharpshooter enjoy increased freedom with the removal of mana. Bruno can now spam his skills like Volley Shot, his first skill, and Wave of the World, his ultimate, without worrying about running out of mana. This enables Bruno to maintain constant pressure on enemies, making him a more reliable damage dealer in both the early and late games. We all have faced situations where we couldn't do the double ball tricks or couldn't use the second skill as you have already run out of mana. Now Bruno will be amazing as there are now no mana constraints. Terizla's impact is also significant, known for his high damage output and durability. Removing mana allows players to maximize their skill uses, especially during prolonged team fights. Terizla can now maintain his aggression and sustain pressure on opponents with abilities like Revenge Strike, his first skill, and Execution Strike, his second skill. And although mana management was easy on him, now you just don't need to do it. Ruby benefits immensely from this change. Her abilities rely on timing and positioning, and without mana constraints, she can spam her skills more effectively. Ruby players can engage in more frequent skirmishes, utilizing her Be Good, her first skill, and I'm Offended, her ultimate skill to control and disrupt enemy formations. Not having mana will make Ruby's first skill in the early game just great. You can keep spamming it for a long time. I know how important it is to keep her passive active, and now with the mana gone, the little red hood can be seen more on the battlefield. Saber the Agile Assassin benefits immensely from this update. With mana no longer a factor, Saber can now use his skills like Flying Sword, his first skill, and Triple Sweep, his ultimate, more frequently. This allows Saber to execute his deadly combos more frequently, hunting down squishy targets and eliminating threats with ease. The removal of mana enhances his ability to roam and secure kills across the map. Vincita, the Courageous Leader, benefits from the mana removal by being able to use his skills like Spear of Glory, his first skill, and King's Calling, his ultimate, more frequently. This change allows Vincita to engage and disengage in battles more effectively, providing his team with reliable crowd control and initiation. Players can focus on positioning and timing without mana restriction. Belri, MM's Nightmare, also gains significant advantages with mana removal. Belri can now spam his skills like Nature Strike, his skill 2, and Wrath of Dryad, his ultimate, to absorb damage and control enemies without any mana limitations. This empowers Belric to become an even more formidable frontline presence, protecting his teammates and disrupting enemy formations with ease. So guys, what do you think? Do you think these heroes will be OP? Which hero do you think I missed out on? Are you excited about this update? Comment down all your thoughts below. So that will be all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Keep supporting Kazuki Official.